Preoccupations, Arrangements, Album Review. Let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this latest from Calgary-based post-punk and art punk band Preoccupations. They've been at it for quite some time now. They are a modern day obsession of mine. Many a moon ago I caught them, I'm pretty sure it was at the Pitchfork Music Festival back in the day when they were still going by Viet Cong, and they put out their cassette EP. I caught them there and I was blown away. Now, while this EP was a little rough around the edges and not as perfect as I hoped, there was something that I really liked about it. There was something a little old school and artsy about it, but there was also a rawness to it that I saluted. But with their self-titled Viet Cong album, when it first dropped, this album shocked the hell out of me. I named it one of my top 5 projects of the year. It was just so gnarly and abrasive and heavy, but it was also really well produced and even better written. Now, shortly after they changed their name to Preoccupations, they put out their very moody, very artsy, very different self-titled album, and I really liked it at the time. As a matter of fact, I think it's grown on me with every year. Plus, you get awesome singles like the very brooding, very intense and slow Anxiety to the wild twists and turns of Zodiac. Now, the last time we heard from Preoccupations on their New Material album, I had mixed feelings. On one hand, I thought their turn for the new wave and dark wave was pretty tasteful at times. But my thoughts on the album at the end of the day was, I liked it, but I didn't love it, and I thought they were in need for a refresh. Now, these new singles I thought were just where I wanted to hear the band. They sounded refreshed. They sounded dark and gloomy and artsy, but also really heavy, and honestly, they've come through with something special. This album starts off with Fixed Bayonets. It is a triumphant call to arms, no pun intended. This is an energetic and seriously triumphant intro. It's wild. I love this soaring but still very tense riff and just how spacious this track is. This is easily the artsiest thing they've done, and it's not by a close margin either. I can't remember the last time I heard their music so vast, and it sounds so focused in its insanity, and I love that. And this fast-paced, manic vocal, wild lyrical performance is just icing on the cake, and I absolutely adore the extended noisy jam. This is a great intro. Ricochet, I've liked it since it dropped as a single. It is the best track here, I think. Urgency, the harsh production, it is so cold, but it's also so meditative, so hypnotizing. Lead singer Matt Flagel's vocals, when he does them right, I don't know what he does, but it sounds like it's like coming from like the back of your head or something. It literally gets inside you. It is easily the most mesmerizing track here. That alongside the clashing instrumentals that are just bumping into each other in a really exciting way, as well as the really great icy synth work. This is awesome. I think Preoccupations just really deliver on all fronts. Depth of Melody is a much more pensive, much more brooding track. It is much more calculating as well. It is dense. It is in your face. It is just so suffocating between the walls of sound. This mammoth, monolithic riff, and the synths too. It's so suffocating. This is exactly where I love hearing my post-punk though. The guitars are wild, the drums are pounding and intense, the artsy vibes are back, the sheer tension and anxiety on display. Yes please, come on, this is great. Now, this is not necessarily the harshest or the noisiest or darkest album that you'll hear all year, but it is one of the most tormented and somber and harrowed releases I've heard all year. Slowly is a different beast between, God, the harsh noise that is just haunting this track from a distance and the gloomy, tortured vocals. Alongside of a very pensive, very hypnotizing post-punk bass riff, you have Ear Candy. And the way that this track builds up with these massive walls not letting you escape is brilliant. It's just the way that I wanted to hear this track go, and the way that by the end of this tune it just disintegrates into absolute nothingness. It is one of the more flooring things I've heard all year. Like, this is not going to be an album for everyone. I'm giving you that right now. But for me, this is exactly what I wanted to hear. Then we have Advisor. I mean, if you're looking for a track with zero hope, no hope in sight, Jesus Christ, here it is. Abduction here is so thick. The atmosphere is so dense. This track plods along, not doing much fancy, but showing you what Preoccupations can do with so little. It's one of the more quiet and pensive tracks here, definitely one of the artsier ones too, but the feelings of dread and doom are absolutely prevalent. And then this track picks up in the second half, but it's far from a reprieve, I'll tell you that. It's just as calculating and tormented and twisted. It's probably my favorite deep cut. Recalibrate's really good too. And I want to stress, the production on this whole album is really good. Preoccupations constantly sound like they are attacking from all angles, and that's what I love to hear. This track gets plain weird and freaking nutty at times. It is a freakish occult ritual of a sounding tune, but I love that because it ends up also becoming beautiful and euphoric at times. This album has so much to like, and it is so beautifully textured as well. And Tearing Up the Grass is a fantastic finale. It is the most fluid and kaleidoscopic track here, but simultaneously is one of the most tense and intense tracks here. It's gloomy as all hell, it's rigid, and the repeated fall down chorus is just one of the most mesmerizing things on display here. And listen, most of the tracks on this album are over 5 minutes. This is not going to be a listen for everybody. I understand that. Preoccupations do a great job of keeping you invested. This album is fantastic and is easily going to be one of my favorite things of the year. Honestly, I don't have a lot of bad things to say. A, it could have been a little bit longer. I would have liked another 2 tracks. This easily could have been a 50-minute album and I would have been very happy with it. B, it could have been a little heavier and a little noisier. I still do, at the end of the day, miss that Viet Cong album sound. But still, if this is where they're at right now, and this is the kind of stuff they're putting out some of their artsiest stuff, some of their gloomiest stuff, some of the more progressive stuff. Their songwriting has gone up. The production here is great. The performances are exciting. The instrumentals are wowing most of the time. Yeah, I don't have a lot of bad things to say. Feeling a decent 9 on this album, but let me know what you all think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.